Hello everyone, I'm Nick, and welcome to the Mediocre Garden. I'm glad you found your way here. Today I'm going to be talking about something that I've never really done before, planning the vegetable garden. Seems simple, I know, it's just not something I've ever done. I usually will pick up a bunch of seeds from the store when I realize they're probably all going to be gone soon. I'll put them all in the garden at the same time and hope for the best. So this year I'm trying something a little bit different. It's January, and I'm spending a lot of time at my computer actually planning the vegetable garden. A reminder that I am no gardening expert. I'm the exact opposite of a gardening expert. I'm learning as I go, and I'm just bringing you along for the ride. I belong to a Facebook group for Alberta gardeners, and on there someone recommended the Vegetable Academy. This is a website built by an urban farmer named Jared Rieger out of Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. I hope I'm saying his name right. He is a wealth of information. I completely recommend going to his website. Look at the garden planning blitz sessions. You can get them even if they're not live anymore. He has resources there. He walks you through everything. He's got a really interesting story. I can't say enough good about him. Definitely go check him out. This is some video of the garden as it is right now, covered in snow for the winter. The garden is situated on the west side of our home and runs north to south. We have 7 raised beds that are approximately 4 by 4 or 16 square feet of growing space. Last year, we added lattice to the raised beds to act as a windbreak and as a trellis for some vegetables. There's one lower bed for strawberries. At the south end of the garden is a flat plot where we have some established raspberries and a spot where I can sow directly into the ground. This is also where I have space for our compost. We water the garden with a series of sprinklers that are on a timer, but I'll go into more detail about how we water in a separate video. A short walk away from the raised beds is where we are going to build our greenhouse. It's in a small area surrounded by a cotoneaster hedge. Now originally this was where I'd hoped to grow roses, and for a few years I actually did. However, for years now it's been overgrown and weed-filled, so this year we plan to take back the space and make it functional. It's going to take a lot of work, but we're excited to see the transformation, and we'll share it with you here. One of the things that Jared with the Vegetable Academy really helped me realize was that I wanted to develop a homestead garden. He defines this as a garden which combines a kitchen garden with plots that you eat from while vegetables are in season, and a pantry garden which has plots for those vegetables that you'll store throughout the winter. We're planning to build 4 raised beds on the west side of the kitchen garden for those vegetables that we plan to store. I am certain that I will never be one of Jared's best students because I'm already breaking some rules, but I will definitely be incorporating some of his suggestions and techniques into my garden this year. I'm going to take just a few minutes now to show you some of the tools that I've created for myself as I start planning my garden. I happen to love spreadsheets and love Visio, so I wanted to take advantage of that and create some documents for myself. One thing I'm learning is that a good gardener has good record keeping. I have no record keeping. I can't tell you
what seeds I planted last year. I can probably remember what vegetables I grew in general. I certainly can't tell you what variety I chose, when I harvested them. I can't tell you the yield.
Nope, I have none of that. So this year, I'm going to do better. I want to show you a spreadsheet I've created. Am I really going to sit here and talk about spreadsheets? Does anybody care about spreadsheets? I care. I love spreadsheets. I really do. So this is a basic spreadsheet that I've created for record keeping. I record the variety I've actually ordered, where I ordered them from. I use the Farmer's Almanac. I totally recommend that. You can put in your postal code and you can get dates for actual spring frost and fall frost. And then I've added dates for when I'll do successive sowing, all the way up until fall plantings. If you scroll down, you can see I have a lot of different kinds of vegetables that I'm starting. I tend to like to experiment and try new things. Rather than having large yields of a few different kinds of vegetables, I like smaller yields of lots of different things. So these are my raised beds. This might look a little bit familiar to you, remembering the video I showed you a little bit earlier. And each bed is around 4 by 4, and I generally split it into 9 square foot gardening plots. I've done it this way for years, and it usually works really well. The thing that's interesting about this, though, is you have to be really thoughtful as to what are your good partners to plant next to each other. It's not very often that I want to plant an entire bed in only one type of vegetable, but it does make it nice when I want to try successive sowing, so that I can plant this square of cilantro week 1, this square week 2, and this square week 3. So that not everything comes ready at the same time, and hopefully I use it up before the next is ready. As you can see, I already have some comments on here, because even though I had taken a look at it and thought really carefully, there's things that I'm already considering changing. What it will look like by the time I actually plant it in the ground might not look exactly like this does. And this is the other patch, which actually I sow directly into the ground. I've got some raspberry bushes that are already established, and then I'll plant my pumpkins, the butternut squash, the corn, and the sunflowers. These are 4 new beds that we're going to create this year just outside the kitchen garden. They're going to be 10 foot by 30 inches, and this is recommended size by the Vegetable Academy and Jared. These are the vegetables that I plan to plant for storage. This is the general plan I have for our greenhouse. I'm not really entirely sure how this will work. I have to get some shelving in there. I really need to see it. The greenhouse has been delivered, but we haven't yet set it up. Once I actually get it set up and I get in there, I'll be able to have a bit more of an idea, but these are the items that I think I want to keep in the greenhouse. I have not grown anything in a greenhouse before, so I'm a little bit hesitant, and I might take a few of the tomatoes and the peppers at least out into the garden as well, so I can compare how they do. So that's my plan. As you can see, I've already started to change my mind. I'm sure it will go through a few more changes before I actually get out into the garden, but I think it's a really good start. So because I'll be starting my seeds inside for the first time, I did have to make a few purchases. I promise that when I get all of these things, I will do an unboxing video. Most people do it with fun things like makeup or clothing. I'm just excited that I have a plan. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. One more step towards the garden. You didn't get to see anything outside today. There's no green in here whatsoever, but the important work, I think, is being done. Please hit like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it, and then I'll see you next time. This is basically a commercial for the Vegetable Academy. That guy is brilliant. I think everybody should go there. I think he'd be very disappointed in me, though.